Hello and welcome to World of Tanks. By watching this video, you're hopefully going to learn how to play a little bit better. As we play the next two battles, I'll be providing you tips and information, as well as explaining my thought process, so you can hopefully develop your own skills. Let's take a look at one of the more difficult to pull off playstyles in World of Tanks, making use of thinly armoured, fast, sort of sniping medium tanks. And perfect, we've actually got a map that will really suit our tank. That's very fortunate. Hopefully on the second map I'll have more of a brawly map to get involved in how to play medium tanks in that. But on these kind of maps it's important to make note of the light tank matchup on your team. So the enemy has a Manticore and an AMX-13-105. Our team has a T100 LT and an RHM Panzerwagen. Now the Manticore is obviously the best spotter in the game, but actually the T100 LT is really not that far behind it. And if you actually aren't aware, the RHM Panzerwagen, at least according to my calculations, does outspot the AMX-13-105. So we can see that our T100 has taken this location down in the bushes, and our RHM has taken this position up here. We can tell because we've been spotted that the Manticore probably pushed up here pretty quickly, so we're actually going to take a more safe position at the back here. We've lost a Hirschkäfer on our team. Now, this is not my favorite position for actually sniping. So we might just have a look here if we can get anything. So our RHM is falling back, he's taking some damage. This ASXX is taking a very forward position. We can give him one shot and pull back as quick as we can. We are spotted here now. Now actually what I'm going to do is I don't want this ASX to be here anymore. So I'm going to reposition completely to counter that guy. Now this is something you can only do if you fully 100% know the maps and all the locations. But maybe by showing you this, you can begin to think about how you can counter position people on other maps without having to see an example, and you can try things out for yourself. Where I'm actually going to go is about the A8 position up here, right where my crosshair is right here, and we're going to have a look and see if we can get an angle on him. Now he has to actually be showing up here for us to get him, but I mean usually people are pretty greedy and you'll be able to punish them quite often. People don't like to sit around, I've found out in this game. Now because the light tanks aren't really doing super deep heavy spotting, we're not going to get any opportunities to really shoot there for now. So we're just going to come up here to the heavy tank flank. Something you'll find as every class other than heavies is that going to the heavy tank flank is honestly really good. You can get a lot of damage from going to positions like these because heavy tanks have the most hit points. So if you can learn how to farm heavy tanks as every type of tank, then you'll notice that your damage numbers will go up in games because there's just more HP to farm. Instead of trying to snipe at TDs you only get one shot at, and they can take 2 hits before they explode. If you deal with heavy tanks, you can this guy has nearly 3,000 hit points. So we can see here 1 SDB, 3 heavies, me, and a CS. That's 6 tanks versus their 3 that are spotted here. If we get some more information in this match, it'll be worth considering playing more aggressive up here. So there's a 140, so that's 4 tanks to our 5. I'm not counting this CS for now because he's not super involved. The AS is actually peeking up and taking some shots. Now because he's an autoloader, he's going to sit there and let us fire. We aimed terribly, so we miss. That's okay. SDB has completely fallen off the hill. He got farmed. So actually, honestly here, I'm actually thinking about falling back. I think this game is beginning to look a little bit like a loss. And I think you really can tell with World of Tanks this early on that this game is not going well. This might be a bit of a loss. I'm actually going to activate my ability here because this Super Conqueror is in a bad position. We can beat his reload. Udes is going to punish us. Unfortunately, we bounced just a little bit with the armor there. Now, we've taken a hit from the AMX. I'm actually going to retreat. This is a losing position, and there is nothing more to get out of here. In fact, I might already be dead. I should have retreated a long time ago when I was saying that this was a lost game, because this position up here is doomed. We've been completely overran. They've got more tanks than us there, and we didn't have any heavies take all the way up to the windmill, so we had no position. So we can just fall back here, as far back as we feel is safe, and just take up a sniping position in a bush. We've lost a lot of hit points, which is unfortunate. Overtraded a little bit. Not my best gameplay, obviously. I'm focusing a little bit on talking while playing World of Tanks, which I'm not used to just yet. I just be aware of all our positions. So the light tanks, the enemy only has the AMX light tank. The Manticore actually died. Our T100 just died, so he's still got the RHM. Where is he playing? Okay, so he's going to be spotting this AS, but we're never going to get any shots on that ASXX. That name is a bit of a tongue twister for me. Let's just aim up here, try and farm this 140, because he's the least armored tank in this position. So it will be easier to pen and deal damage to him. That's why I'm focusing this guy. Maybe not the best decision in terms of like actually winning the game, but right now, in this moment, I want some damage, so I'm going to aim for this this Object 140. He's unspotted now, so let's aim for the lower plate of the T-803. We actually might get spotted by this gorilla here. I feel like I need to reposition just a little bit more. Just a bit further back. We've actually completely run out of allies, and we've run out of spotters, so this game is about to end. We have managed to get the most out of it though. 3,500 damage. Let's try and retreat back a little bit further. In fact, let's just... we might be dead here right now. Let's just get it. Let's just fire. The gorilla missed. Let's see if we can get one more shot out before we die. Should have fallen back a little bit further when we realized that all the light tanks were like dead. Enemy are not particularly finishing us off here. Now I have a HE shell loader, so I'm never going to pen that guy anyway. But I mean, 4,000 damage is okay for a game that is losing this heavily. This guy is drowning himself. That's really good. Now, if you want to get more damage in water tanks, don't drown. Because, believe it or not, your 1,900 hit points probably would have allowed him to get 2 shots of damage off there without having to drown himself. So, yeah, don't do that. Let's hop into the second battle and see if things go a little bit better for us. Okay, so Cliff. Very interesting. Now, this is a pretty good map. I want to show you a nice position that you can make use of. Now, you can do this in most of these sniping mediums at tier 10 and tier 11, as long as you kind of need about 65 plus kilometers an hour top speed. So you can do that in stuff like the Leopard and the Centurion Action 10, the Bat Chat 25, although not sure if this is the best position for a Bat Chat. But we're basically going to drive up the cliff towards the center of the map, turn left and go for the F2 position. Now looking at the enemy lineup, we can see stuff like a 50B, a bunch of mouses, BZ-75. Are there any fast tanks we need to worry about? So a TVP is a bit worrying. Leopard 1 is a little bit worrying. Leopard 120. Hacker won't be a big deal for us in this position. Let's just race for this position and let's see if we can make use of it. Not seeing like any tanks I'm like majorly worried about right now on the enemy team. In terms of how I think the game is going to go, I mean, they've got a Contriver, we've got a Blackrock, Leopard 120. So now, in this scenario, by the way, I've messed about with this many times, but you need to either drive all the way up to this rock, or you need to go to the position I was going to go to on the left. Let's actually swap to our gun mode here. Now, I've kind of have overcommitted a little bit. This 50B is a big problem for me. I really do not want to take multiple shots from these autoloaders. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take extra damage crossing here. In fact, we're just going to die. That's what we're going to do. Okay, so I keep making mistakes here. When you come here on cliff, do not commit to this fight, because this can happen where the enemy has got an absolute death train. You have to go play in this position. Do not stop here, do not stop here, do not stop in this area. You have to go over there. You play in this rock, and basically there's these bushes here you can use to shoot through unspotted, and if you need to, you can back up and you can like basically hang off the cliff. If we actually go to the perspective of this E100, you can hang off this like rock here, if you see. And that's where you want to farm from. This gives you shots into the middle, and it lets you peek out and shoot these people here as they're looking onto the direction over there. Now, unfortunately, we got overran. I made a big mistake, but those things happen. I'm actually going to treat you and give you a third game because this was a fantastic second game to show you. Hopefully you can learn from my mistake, because even when you think you know what's going on, you can still make a major mistake and end up just absolutely feeding for it. Okay, so after that disastrous gambit, let's try and play a little bit more conservative. So this game, there is no light tanks. That's the first thing I'm noticing. So that means we can probably play a little bit more aggressive on the northern flank over here in the C3 position. Now I'm going to take a position up just like an early position, just to punish enemies. You can try this one out for yourself. It's more of a bait and trap, gives you a free shot damage maybe, allows you to assess the situation if you want to play more aggressive or not. Looking at the enemy lineup, they've got FVs, that's very scary, they've got a Grilla. So they're going to have about 3 snipers in the bushes here in the E2 position, so we've got to be very careful of that. We do not want to take any hits from those guys. In terms of mediums that might push up here, they've got a Leopard 120, a CS63, maybe the Patton will come this way. Kind of doubt it though, we'll have to see. Now what I actually like to do if I don't want to commit fully to this position is I just come over here and I sit in this bush. And what this bush allows you to do is you'll spot people if they cross kind of weirdly here. But the best part is that you'll spot people that appear there. Oh, hang on, this guy's like gone into the middle. But basically, people that peek this corner, you'll spot them for your TDs first off, but you'll also get a free shot, and then you can pull behind the rock. And there's no other position that can hit you other than like artillery here. So the enemy doesn't have anybody in that position. Now, the way I actually like to push up on this map is I use these rocks to stop shots from the snipers at the back. That's an unfortunate miss, the CS getting away unpunished there. But as you can see, you can actually just push up quite easily here. This guy does want to re-peek us. He's a little bit timid. You can basically come all the way up to here, and these TDs still can't hit you. So we could actually just like fight this CS here. Let's bounce off his lower plate like a professional, or his upper plate or whatever. Very bad. Okay, so the UDES is going to help me. I'm going to wait for the UDES to get over here, just so I don't bleed any unnecessary hit points. The CS has turned his turret. We're just going to peek and give him one. He's going to panic and he's going to drive into us. We can keep him just like this. Make sure that we do not hit his gun in this scenario. We'll lose out on a lot of DPM. Let's use our ability just because we may as well. This is like a DPM trade. Alright, okay. And then this guy is out of the game. Now we can actually maybe look for the pattern in this scenario by driving up to right here. And just remember, the main goal for this flank is not letting these TDs hit you. You never want to let these TDs hit you. In fact, what we can do is we can use the turbo to cross this gap. They won't be able to hit us as we cross. Let's switch back to the mode. Fire a shot on the move. Somehow that one hits and burns for a fire. Very lucky for me. Totally deserved that. So the TDs have had to pull back at this point. We don't know where the other FV is. And the Gorilla, they could be playing something like the J5 position on the other flank. But I think we can come here. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the Foch fire, that's an FV, and that's the Gorilla. So we really don't want to peek here again. Is there any unspotted tanks for the enemy? No, there is not. So what we can do is maybe we can flank here. Maybe flanking is a little aggressive. But then again, I don't know if there's anything that could actually shoot us in the back. We can just come behind here and maybe get a shot on this FV if we're cheeky. Or just hit the Foch and back up. Now we have to be very careful. If that Foch ever postures like he's going to all in us, we need to be running. Thankfully he's kind of falling back. He's posturing like he's looking for something. He wants to fight. I don't know how many are in his mag. I haven't been paying enough attention. Specifically to his magazine. I wasn't tracking it. Gorilla just fired, so we can come in here for a free shot. I'm just going to keep the AP loaded. Don't want to faff around swapping to HE and hitting. Because this is a bit of an awkward angle. I can't guarantee that I'm going to hit something I'll pen. Foch fired one. I don't know his intro clip actually, but we'll just give him one there. Gorilla's going to overpeak probably. I think the Gorilla really wants to overpeak. We can actually intuition to the HE round here. Give him this in the flat of the turret. You have to hit the flat of the turret there. Luckily bounce on from the Foch. And we're just farming damage here safely. We really don't want to overpeak for any other location of the map. Our heavies are losing though. So we have to keep that in mind. The heavy flank is like lost. At least from the looks of it, they look like they're completely overwhelmed. And there is a full health mouse on this side of the map randomly. Don't be like this, mouse, guys. Mouse doesn't go to the beach fight. Mouse goes to the heavy fight. So these guys are really like, just drive here, guys. I don't really care enough for like the 300 hit points of damage on those guys. I'm going to start looking for these heavy tanks as they maybe make a mistake and overpush out here. Leopard 1 is doomed in that position. Let's actually fall back to where this FE 4005 is. We've still got a lot of hit points. We've got some good damage in this game. We can just fall back and try and snipe everybody as they cross positions. Make the most out of our accurate long-range gun. Again, not going super in-depth on like the tank abilities and the tank stats and the builds, like in terms of equipment and crew skills, because that's not the focus here. I can make those kind of videos, but this is mostly focused on like how to play better. Because you can have the best setup in the world, the best settings, but if you don't know what to do with it, it doesn't really get you anything, does it? So we can just hit this KR1 probably. Luckily he turned his armor just enough for us to pen that. Considering swapping to APCR in this scenario, but I mean at least against the BZ and the KR1, I actually want the heat pen. But against the 50B, I think I want the APCR. I think I'm going to use the ability in this scenario. Maybe a bit late for that. Need to give this. I think I'm going to get spotted in this scenario now, so we give that one. Leopard 120 maybe over peak. Doesn't seem like it. 50B, we can give him one. Check again for the Leopard. So this scenario, we just need to farm damage here. This game is like probably lost. I don't think we're actually going to be a hero and win this. Do I want to stay here or do I want to fall back? I think I want to use my speed and fall back. The Leopard gives us one on the retreat, that's unfortunate, but we don't want to be in close range with the KR-1 and the BZ. Maybe the mouse can sort of act as a distraction. Somehow the mouse, full HP, and the FV that came up died to the Grilla and the Foch. Not exactly sure how that has managed to happen. Just going to fall back to this position. We can use the hold down here. Maybe get a little bit more out of our armor by going here. Maybe. And also, not even using our armor, we can just shoot and then pull back into cover. See, where's the BZ? Can we finish this KR-1? Overpeaking a little bit for it. Just give the Leopard a shot as we retreat. Luckily, we've lived on... the BZ managed to low roll, so we've got just enough hit points to maybe get one shot of damage more. Maybe a bit of an overpeak there. We can give the Leopard one as he comes closer. Again, in this scenario, do not aim. Do not aim the gun. You peek, you aim the tank, or well, you aim your crosshair, and then you shoot. You do not aim the gun. You do not let the gun aim in this scenario. You cannot take a shot in return. I'm actually going to back up here, so that if the Leopard comes from this angle, I'm further back. I have a better angle than him. I can see him earlier because I'm further back from this corner. That's like just a perspective-based trick. I don't have the time to explain that right now, but just the gist of it is just if you're further away from the corner that the angle is being peaked on, you can see the enemy first, based on perspective. Let's actually swap back to a heat shell here, trying to catch this BZ, maybe moving from the position. Again, we just want to keep peeking every now and then so that we can see the enemies coming. Hopefully we can hit the Foch here. Let's activate our ability. We're going to get some farm off on this FV, I think. Here we go, just playing the long range game. We can peek again on the FE, we're just looking for the damage. Do not aim, just peek, shoot, and we come back. The BZ managed to get us with a HE shell, unfortunate. Okay, but I mean, we farmed 8,000 damage there on a game that is like 100% lost. I mean, there's no way we're going to kill this many heavy tanks on our own, but I think we managed to get pretty good out of it. Just remember to keep looking at the minimap and assessing where your team is winning, where your team is losing. Don't go to fights where you're outnumbered. Like if we looked at that scenario at the start of the game, the CS was kind of outnumbered. There was me and the Leopard, the UDES came over to help, then the Pattern is outnumbered, then the Tank Destroyers are outnumbered. But when that's kind of like become an even fight because the UDES died, it's me versus the Foch and the Grill, I'm not going to peek and fight those guys. I'm just going to burn hit points doing that. And it's not really worth the hit points because I've only got like 100 each or whatever. Well, they had like 300 each, which is still a number, but I think we got more out of that game by just retreating, using our long range abilities, the camo abilities, to just farm damage as enemies are trying to finish out the game. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have any questions about my equipment builds, my ammo setups, my crew skills, I'm happy to answer and explain and debate in the comments, but obviously they're not the main focus of this video, which is why they're not included. I hope you enjoyed, I hope you learned something. As always, a massive shout out to all my current supporters. And if you enjoyed this, why not check out that video on screen now, where you can get tips for how to play your heavy tanks, talking about early positions and making sure that you're backed up by your team.